Hi, I'm Margaret. I'm 72, and about 6 months ago, I decided I was finally going to get my house together. That's what I called it. Get my house together. My daughter laughed and said, "Mama, you've been saying that since 2014. And I told her, this time I mean it. Now listen, I truly believed this would take a weekend. Maybe two if I got distracted by tea and biscuits. I had this picture in my head. Windows open, sunlight pouring in, soft music playing, me gracefully sorting through a few drawers. Oh my goodness, I was wrong. 6 months. It took me 6 months, and there were 5 mistakes that nearly made me quit altogether. The first mistake? Thinking I had to do it all at once. I remember that day so clearly. I opened my bedroom wardrobe and just stood there. The smell of old perfume drifted out, mixed with that faint, dusty cotton scent clothes get when they've been untouched for years. Hangers were jammed together so tight they squeaked when I tried to move them. And instead of picking one section, I pulled everything out. Everything. Shoes on the bed, dresses over the chair, scarves sliding to the floor like colorful waterfalls. Within an hour, my tidy little room looked like a tornado had come through. My grandson walked in and blinked. "Grandma, are you moving?" I wanted to laugh, but honestly, I felt like crying because suddenly it wasn't a project anymore. It was chaos. And at my age, chaos is exhausting. That's when I learned something important. Decluttering isn't a sprint. It's more like slow gardening. You don't rip up the whole yard in one day. You tend one patch at a time. The second mistake was guilt. Oh, the guilt. Every item had a memory attached. The chipped teacup from my sister, the blouse I wore to a wedding 30 years ago, old birthday cards tied together with ribbon. I'd pick something up, and instead of asking, "Do I use this?" I'd think, "If I let this go, am I letting go of the person too?" That nearly stopped me, because memories are powerful. They have weight, sometimes more weight than the object itself. But one afternoon, sitting on the floor with photo albums spread around me, I realized something very quietly. Love does not live inside things. It lives inside us. I can release the object and still keep the memory. That realization felt like taking a deep breath after holding it too long. The third mistake? Comparing my home to those perfect houses online. You know the ones. White walls, empty counters, one tiny plant placed perfectly in the corner, no crumbs, no life. I tried that mindset for about 3 days. Then I picked up my old wooden spoon, the one with the darkened handle from years of stirring stew, and thought, I'm not giving this up just because someone on the internet says I should own less. Minimalism doesn't mean removing personality. It means removing what weighs you down. That was a shift for me. The fourth mistake was waiting for motivation. I kept telling myself, when I feel energetic, I'll do the hallway closet. Or when the weather cools down, I'll tackle the garage. But motivation is a tricky thing. It doesn't show up just because you invited it. What worked, instead, was 10 minutes. Just 10. After breakfast, I'd set a small timer. The kitchen would still smell faintly of toast and tea. Sunlight would stream through the window, catching dust in the air. And for 10 minutes, I'd focus on one drawer, one shelf, one small corner. When the timer beeped, I stopped. No overdoing it, no sore back, no resentment. Slow progress is still progress. And the fifth mistake, the one that surprised me most, was underestimating how emotional this whole thing would be. Decluttering stirred up my entire life. I found old letters, cassette tapes, a music box I hadn't seen in years. When I wound it up, that thin little melody filled the room, slightly off-key, but sweet. I sat there smiling and crying at the same time. There were days I wanted to shove everything back into boxes and pretend I never started. Truly. But around month 3, something changed. Space. The hallway felt wider. The kitchen counters looked calmer. When I opened a drawer, I didn't feel attacked by tangled cords and forgotten batteries. I could find what I needed without digging. And do you know what that created? Peace. Not silence, not emptiness, peace. One morning, I made tea and noticed how the light hit the cleared counter, the kettle humming softly, the faint scent of lemon cleaner instead of old crumbs. My shoulders relaxed without me even realizing they had been tense for years. Decluttering isn't about throwing everything away. It's about making room to breathe. I stopped keeping things just in case. I stopped saving broken items I promised I'd fix someday. I asked myself one simple question: would I buy this again today? If the answer was no, I thanked it quietly and let it go. And here's something important. I didn't become perfect. I still get piles of mail. I still leave my knitting basket out. But now, clutter doesn't control me. I handle it. That's the difference. 6 months ago, I nearly gave up. I nearly shut that wardrobe door and said, "This is too much." But today, when I walk through my living room without bumping into anything, when my closet doors slide open smoothly, when I can actually see the floor of my hallway cupboard, I feel light. Not because I own nothing, but because what I own finally fits my life. So if you're staring at a messy drawer right now, or a closet that feels overwhelming, please don't try to change your whole house in one weekend. Start small. 10 minutes, one shelf, one decision, and be gentle with yourself. Now I'd really love to hear from you. What's one area in your home that feels the most overwhelming right now? Is it the kitchen, the wardrobe, that mysterious miscellaneous drawer? Tell me in the comments. I read them, truly. If this story made you feel a little less alone, go ahead and like this video so more people can see it. Share it with someone who keeps saying, "I'll do it someday." And if you want more honest, real-life stories about home, clutter, and living gently, subscribe and join me here. We're not aiming for perfect, we're aiming for peaceful, and that is enough.